Hello, today is Friday, December 16th. We're going to take a look, do the sort of the weekly roundup, how things on the newsletter did, and talk about a couple of other things that are going on. One thing I wanted to mention, a couple of people have asked, we get a lot of email during the week, and somebody had asked about shipping supplies. Where do we buy shipping supplies? They're starting to sell on eBay and wanted to know where to get them. And if you come over to the Navigator page and you scroll down, it's on the taskbar at the top. There's a thing here. It's a link we set up to a page with shipping supplies on it. And let's see, where the heck is it? There it is. Low-cost shipping supplies. All right, here it is. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Save money. Shipping can be very expensive, and packaging and boxes can be very expensive if you don't hunt around and get some good prices. And we buy a lot of them off of eBay. And here's a page that we set up that has a whole bunch of links to tape. Tape can be ridiculously expensive. Here's one for a box reducer. If you don't own a box reducer, get one. They're worth their weight in gold, because if you have a big box and you're trying to cut the cubic inches down, you can easily trim the height of the box with this gizmo. It gets it nice and straight so you don't have bumpy edges when you're finishing up your box. Tape guns, bubble wrap, even scales, all this stuff. So give that a look if you're trying to save some money on shipping. The next thing I wanted to talk about was a sale at Bonhams that's taking place. And if you click on that, it's going to bring you over to a page that's linked to this catalog. The sale is, here's the cover of the catalog. They have two sales coming up on the 20th, well, one on the 19th, one on the 20th. One on the 20th is the one I think you want to pay attention to if you're a dealer. And the reason is they have things like this. They have some good deals in here, reasonable estimates, some nice Ming pieces. And Bonhams, when they do them through San Francisco, have very reasonable estimates. These are pieces they get in with collections. They sort of accumulate them and let them all go. And their price estimates are quite reasonable. Here's a nice group of 5 pieces, Ming and transitional wares, mostly late Ming. Estimated at $800 to $1,200, and it includes a very nice Japanese 1680s ewer right there. But the whole lot is estimated $800 to $1,200, and if you can buy it in that price range, you're doing well. So think of Bonhams San Francisco if you're a dealer and you're looking to make some careful buys and get some good things, not go broke doing it. All right, and shipping out of San Francisco is not unreasonable. All right, now let's hop over to the newsletter and see how things did. There was this. This was a nice cup and saucer. These inscribed Famille Rose cup and saucers have gotten a lot of interest in the last few years, and the prices on them have gone up enormously. Back 30 years ago, a cup and saucer set like this 20 years ago would have been available. You could have bought it probably for about $100. This one brought $1,766. There's big demand for these. Big demand. This guy had Welcome All Friends had a number of them, and they all did well. This was the most expensive. There were some that went for, but still brought $700 or $800. And there was this lot. I'm kind of surprised by this. I put it in there, and as I've said many times, when you see something, if it's what you might be interested in, leave a bid. This was a good lot of 3 nice late Ming period pieces. I love this robust decoration on that. It's provincial wear. But I like the way the balustrade is done and the giant flower coming up in the middle. And the whole lot went for $57. So somebody got a heck of a nice buy, okay? And there was this. Talk about another good buy this past week. I don't know where everybody was. This was a Pakdong tobacco box, and it was inscribed. Everybody missed that because it's so dirty. I don't know why people put things up that are so dirty. That's just grease from being handled so much. But it's a nice old box. Probably early part of the 1800s, early to mid 1800s. Good buy. $46. Should have brought probably $300 to $500. And then we had this. The demand for large Famille Rose vases continues. This was a big pair. There's one of those gassy Coke cans. That one has Santa on it. God, I wish they could go to something else. But anyway, this was a big pair of vases. 64 centimeters, which is a little over 2 feet tall. And the pair went for $10,988. So if you're out there and you're at auctions and you see a big pair of these vases come up, don't think paying a few grand for them is too much anymore. It's not. These used to bring that. These used to go for, you could buy a pair like this for $2,000 20 years ago. Then there was this, very nice Ming Dynasty dry white pigment and green glazed roof tile, roof figure with a rider, equestrian rider. The horses, when they did these, often look like ponies. This one definitely looks like a pony, but it was a horse. And it was still on its old 1920s mount. In the 1920s, there was a shortage of good lighting that decorators wanted for wealthy clients, and they took to drilling and using Chinese vases. Yamanaka Company was famous for it. They drilled out a lot of vases. And this one still has the original base that was made for it as a table lamp, and there's the hole. But it went for a very reasonable price, $765. That was a nice buy if you collect these. That was a good example and well potted. And then there was this. This is a very good 18th century helmet creamer. Nice famille vert decoration on it with a lot of gilding. And the seller withdrew it because nobody bid on it. All right? I mentioned this before. Sellers these days will yank things if they don't get bids. And I know everybody likes to get a bargain. But the reality is that there's no point to hold back. Don't put things on watch lists. Leave a bid. Leave a bid. So if you're a collector, you probably could have bought this for under $100. He pulled it when he had an opening asking bid of around $40 for it. Very reasonable. Anybody would pay that gladly if they have a brain. And this guy yanked it. I don't know if he's going to put it up again or what he's going to do with it. But in the future, when you see things like this, don't be clever, don't be coy. Leave a bid, and that way you'll stay abreast of it and you won't forget about it. Life is too busy these days. People forget things. Mark Wahlberg had this very nice bowl. This was a nice looking Daoquan Marken period bowl. Good interior on it, but I like the exterior. I love bowls that have, there's the mark, it's right as rain. And you have these bowls with the precious objects and the all the different decoration. There's a pair of cups over here and bronzes and scrolls wrapped in ribbons and so on. There's a bowl with citron fingers in it and peaches and whatnot, all auspicious stuff, and did very well. It brought $375. Moving along, we had this very attractive Kangxi period ewer that had been retrofitted with silver mounts in Europe. That was a popular tradition years and years ago. This was a nice one, though, and it did fine. It brought $322, so that was a fair deal for the seller and a fairly good deal for the buyer as well. And the hot water pot, the hot food pot. I generally don't feature these because a lot of them aren't very good, but this one was nice. This one was a good, probably 1860s example. Beautifully done, nice decoration, and I love the facial expressions. I always look at the faces to see if the faces are all different, and they're all making with different smiles and different looks on them. And this one had it, and I liked the way it was done. And it went for about $650. Which was a perfectly good price for that. And there was this, the Kangxi egg and spinach, or spinach and egg bowl. Or one of our readers actually sent me a letter about this. He wanted to know what I thought of it. I told him I thought it was perfectly fine. It's authentic. Yeah, here's the bottom of it. It's exactly how they look with this sort of creamy white foot and this nicely done calligraphy. And look over here, you can even see the alligatoring and the glazes. This was sold by Egmont Horn in Europe. He does very good photography on all his pieces, and the thing did well. It brought $11,385. The fellow who emailed me, I don't think got it. I'm sorry, but it did really well. And there was this also. Egmont Horn had this. This was a very nice Qingbai Sung ewer with a lid. They rarely have the lids on them. The lids are always gone. Now it had a little break here where on the loop, where the string would attach the two together, but still a good buy. These Sung pieces are continuing to get steam. People are more and more buyers in mainland China and elsewhere are starting to collect them. The prices of everything else has gone up so much, so they're starting to look to earlier pieces. This was a nice example, and it went for $2,295. Good price for that, but not unreasonable. And they had this, the enamel ware, these Quanjiang wares. This one was unusual, though, because it was loaded with script. And when you get script on these pieces, they can bring a lot of money. the Chinese collectors, because script is considered a different art form than painting. It adds greatly to the price. There's the bottom of it. Good, obvious old example. And it brought a very good price. $2,938. Rare type of decoration, calligraphy, and it was a brush pot, so it appealed to scholars, collectors as well. And then we had this little inkwell, the robin's egg blue with the chimera that I mentioned before. Did fine, brought $425. Scholars' objects are always in demand, and that was a nice one. Somebody got a good buy on it. And last was the Chin to Command VOC type export chocolate pot with side handle. I'm not sure the lid was original to it. I got a feeling it wasn't. But it went reasonably. If you're a collector, it went for only $298, which is a good buy. All right? And that's it for the week. If you don't get the newsletter, come to the website and sign up for it. You click the newspaper thing here. It'll take you to a link. And if you want, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do posts every week, at least once a week. We try to, sometimes we do 2. So stay in touch with us that way. And have a great week, and thanks for visiting. Until next time, bye-bye.